Oh, okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. A little bit of a camera fix there for you. And let's talk about this Nick Gage versus John Moxley match. I believe it was 3 nights ago at this point on the Fight TV app. I guess it's a pay-per-view. I think the price was $19.99. I could be wrong. Um, and I'm curious. I really am curious how many views they're getting. Just out of curiosity, I don't know the answer to that. How many people are paying for these events? I did not pay for the event. I did not order it. So, just as a disclaimer, I watched the main event, the Moxley Nick Gage match on YouTube. Somebody must have bootlegged it, or if it was an official bootleg or whatever. So, I watched that, and I'll give a shout out to my buddy and good guy, subscriber, Eric, who's always a very strong proponent of deathmatch wrestling, deathmatch expert, which is fine. No judgment. Back in the day, I did see a lot of the Terry Funk, Terry Gordy, Mick Foley, Onita's, all those guys wrestling, and I think it was the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, wasn't it? When they would have the exploding barbed wire and all types of crazy stuff. And even in New England, this guy Livewire and Diamond Dave Donovan had a bloodbath barbed wire match at one point, which was pretty epic. So I'm not totally against deathmatch wrestling or deathmatch wrestling matches. As a human being, sometimes I worry about the participants. I'll give you an example, like that Matt Cardona thing when he beat Nick Gage a few months ago, and it was a big brouhaha. If you look at the gash on his back, I mean, it's just horrible. But this is what these guys do. This is their life, their choice. It's surprising that some of it hasn't been outlawed or made illegal. But I mean, this is our country. We're crazy. And I guess I just think about that thing with Nick Gage where then his heart stopped beating at one point in the match, as talked about in the Dark Side of the Ring. Well, anyway, enough of the background of the boo-ha-ha. If you're not a wrestling fan, this video probably won't interest you that much. I should have said that at the beginning, but oh well. Let's discuss this match. Not having the benefit of watching the undercard might be hurting my appreciation of the match, just to be honest. I can see, like, there was some pretty good matches on the undercard and some pretty big names. Chris Dickinson stands out to me because he's a guy that I was watching 6 or 7 years ago in Beyond Wrestling. And I do feel that a guy like Chris Dickinson, I'm surprised, maybe surprised that he hasn't been picked up by an AEW or even, as far as I know, had any matches on Dark or anything. And I'm putting over Chris Dickinson now because back in the day, I really did hate this guy. There was a famous kind of internet meme or clip for a while of Chris Dickinson hitting a woman wrestler. I believe she was one of the Cherry Bomb tag team ladies, hitting her over the head with a chair. And it was very violent. Now, I heard that she actually wasn't hurt at all and that it was actually her idea for that chair shot. So, once again, Chris Dickinson actually pulling one over on me because he was a guy that was actually like a heel that worked pretty good as a damn heel. Like, wasn't a heel trying to be cool or funny. He worked old school heel heat and he was good at it. So give Chris Dickinson credit. But I haven't really seen him do anything, to be honest, at a much higher level than when I saw him wrestle 6 or 7 years ago. And I'm seeing some of these other guys I used to see in the New England region. Give him credit. All Good Anthony Green is now doing AEW matches, dark matches, and was even on Dynamite. So All Good, who I believe started off as a referee at Top Rope Promotions, is now like a real wrestler with getting money and on TV. So congratulations to him. Going back to our thing, first thing we see on the YouTube upstream is Mick Foley in the ring, and I guess he did another Mick Foley speech. And look, there's two trains of thought with this stuff. Guys like Mick Foley, Ric Flair, certain guys, Piper before he passed away, certain guys seem to have carte blanche, like they get to a certain level in their wrestling, and whenever they show up somewhere, everyone's got to stop and pay respect. And like I said, Ric Flair's in that elite group. Mick Foley, it's an unofficial elite group, but I don't know. I guess for me, I've seen a lot of Mick Foley. I've seen him do stand-up comedy once and like kind of a motivational speech type of thing a second time. And I've gone to a couple of autograph signings. And Mick Foley's a great guy. Nothing against him. But at some point, even these great guys you have nothing against kind of run their course a little bit. And I kind of feel like that's my feeling with Mick Foley. Like, I have nothing against Mick Foley. I like Mick Foley. Loved his first book. Loved his wrestling. Didn't like the fact that he sold the dick flip for Joey Ryan. But I overall, Mick Foley is an A+ guy. Given that, I've seen a little bit too much of Mick Foley in my life. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Mick, we get it. Go away. How can we miss you if you don't go away? Jim Cornette, right? As far as this, I keep stalling him 6.5 minutes in, but this match, this Matt Cardona thing, well, actually, it's fucking Nick Gage. Cardona lost the title to Moxley, which is a big surprise. And here's Moxley defending against Nick Gage. And I guess they have all this history, which the commentators did do a good job of describing the history. Now, oddly and ironically, guess what? I feel that the commentary for this match, if you watch the broadcast and watch the commentary, I think the commentary hurt this match. I think the commentary on this Gage versus Moxley match was hurtful, and I'll explain to you why. Because when Foley sat down, it's almost like, just listen to the commentary. It's, instead of being serious about the match, suddenly everything took on like a comedic tone, like, oh, I'm so happy to be here, guys, and this is some crazy stuff, and these guys are just nutty. And it was just like a hokey doke, Foley commentary. And the two commentators kind of played into that. Like, they were just so gushing over Foley. Well, they should have had their gushing before the match started. Like, the emphasis really got away from the two guys in the ring smashing each other with light bulbs and stuff into a Mick Foley fest. And Mick Foley, I mean, I hit the rock bottom of this match, so to speak, when Foley mentioned Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter in 1983. And part of the reason why I didn't like that was because, first of all, he had the year wrong. It was 1984, Mick, when Slaughter and Foley feuded, not 1983. Slaughter was still heel in 83. And their feud didn't start until after the Iron Sheik lost the WWF title to Hulk Hogan, which was in 84. It was January 24th, 84, when Hogan beat the Sheik. And then shortly thereafter is when the Sheik Slaughter feud started. So that was 1984. Sheik and Slaughter did not wrestle in the calendar year 1983 against each other. They just didn't. So, as a historian, when some of these guys get these little things wrong, it throws me. I just get upset about it. And now the match starts. I thought kind of the favorite part of the match for me was when the match started, and he being look at these assholes. He being Gage smashed Moxley right in the fucking head with the lights. And to give credit to Mick Foley, Foley said something like, "Oh, that'll wake you up, and that'll get his blood flowing," and it did. I thought that was a really great start to the match. Then, kind of in short order, it seemed like Moxley dominated like 60 to 70% of this match. Tell me if I'm wrong, GCW fans, but to me, when I'm seeing Moxley dominate like 60 to 70% of this thing, and he's using the pizza cutter and all this stuff, I was thinking, okay, well, Nick Gage is definitely going to win this match because they're making Moxley look so strong by dominating Nick that Nick's going to have to win, right? Because to me, it wasn't like a 50-50 match or even a 60-40. It felt like 70% of offense was in Moxley's favor. And they're just making Moxley look great, and Nick Gage didn't look so good. Here's how I felt about this match. I feel like it didn't have the same electricity as the Cardona Gage match a few months ago. It didn't have the surprise of when Moxley beat Cardona. To me, I'll be honest, I kind of feel like this match was a little bit underwhelming, even by GCW standards. Like, GCW Game Changer Wrestling has come on really strong as an independent wrestling group, and to the fact that now I'm doing a video about them, and I'm tempted now to order a full pay-per-view and get the full grasp of it. I'm not I'm not in the MDK all day thing. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't get my t-shirt yet. But when you see this crowd, and to me, it's a little weird, like this MDK stuff, like, to try to say, let's murder, death, kill people. I don't quite get that, and no offense to the GCW crowd, but they don't look very tough to me. They just look like regular people. Now, I'm sure that there's some tough people in that crowd. I'm sure that there's some psychopaths and some weirdos and some nefarious people. But for the most part, they just look like regular wrestling fans, maybe a little more hot topic-y or a little more horror festival type of people, like horror film festival. But I don't see the audience, like when Nick Gage calls them his gang. Well, if you were really his gang, wouldn't you be paying? Why are you paying money to see your gang member in a fight? Like, you're buying tickets to go to a live pro wrestling show, and the wrestler is saying that you're his gang to make you feel good about paying your money to go to the wrestling show. So you're just marks like everybody else. So the whole MDK all day, it's cute, but it's, it's almost like I guess I'm picking it apart a little bit, because I'm wondering if those people take it seriously. Like, if they walk around and they're in Atlantic City and they think that they're in a fucking gang, you don't know what gangs are. You know what I mean? Like, a real gang would wipe you fucks out. No offense. And maybe Nick Gage is the exception. Maybe he's so goddamn psychotic and he goes to jail that he knows all these wonderful things about living on the street. Good for him. But I don't want to say it doesn't impress me. I mean, I just kind of feel like these people are goofs and they're weird and they odd. So that's it. I mean, but guess what? They're having a good time. So, because, it's weird because people take their kids to this thing and they're chanting MGK all day. So what do you mean? Like, you're going around town killing and murdering and deathing people all day? You're doing that all day, and then you're going to a wrestling match at night to pay $40 to watch your gang member wrestle and lose? I don't quite get it. I mean, I guess I do. It's just marketing. You've been marketed and you've bought into it, and you think that you're an actual gang, but you're not. So, in any goddamn event, going back to the match, Nick Gage, he grows on you. I'll give you that. Eric and all the other, hardcore MDK fucking fans. Nick grows on you. I've got nothing against the guy. I mean, he grows on you, but he lost this thing. It did feel like the final move, like the superplex or some weird fucking move off the ropes. It felt like it didn't quite hit. And it kind of felt like a part of a match where if this was some fucking match from WWE or AEW, the guy would have kicked out. To be honest, it just felt like these guys were going through the motions a little bit. I think I was most impressed or surprised by the actual finish. Granted, Moxley just got this title. I guess I'm just surprised it wasn't like Taz, beating fucking Mike Awesome for the ECW title, and then losing it to Tommy Dreamer like 5 days later. I thought that's where we were headed with the Moxley GCW title run. I thought it was just a thing where to get the belt off of Cardona, put it on Mox, and then in short order something's going to happen, and I couldn't see Moxley holding the belt forever, but here he is. I do hope for Moxley's sake, did Moxley get some type of cut of the pay-per-view? I'm not reporting, I'm speculating. We're just kind of hoping for his sake that he did, because why in the fuck is Dean Moxley or John Moxley wrestling in these god-awful matches if he's not getting a good chunk of the gate, so to speak. So I don't know, because I guess he's loyal to MDK all day, right? Because he's out there between, changing diapers with Renee. Moxley is out there fighting the forces of MDK. It was a double babyface match, which is kind of hard to book. The fans obviously love Nick Gage, but they don't see. And I'm just playing with you folks, by the way. I don't really despise the murder death people. Please don't kill me. I didn't really feel it was a hard match to book, because it kind of felt like, is Nick retiring? Like, is Nick handing over the keys to this GCW castle to Moxley, and Nick will just kind of be like a cheerleader, not a cheerleader, but a spokesman or an elder statesman, and his body could probably use the rest too. And the guy's got, trouble with his teeth. So I hope Nick is getting some money out of this thing. But it didn't feel like an inspired match. And I guess I wondered how much of that was the fault of the commentary. The commentary to me, once again, felt very goofy, etc. And to be honest, it wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't a great match. It was just a match. It was just like, okay, we did this and now it's done. But I don't think it was as shocking, like I said, as Cardona winning or Cardona losing. It just felt like a double baby face fucking bloodbath. And that all that history of 9 or 10 years ago, it was a bit lost on me. I'm not saying it didn't happen, or for fans that know about their history, it wasn't significant. But for a mainstream fan, in this case me, it didn't connect. So I'm giving it out of 5 stars 3, mostly for effort. Sacrifice. I do pay respect to these guys that they sacrifice a lot. I'm not, GCW. It's, hey, look, I'll say this: they've made themselves a player, and that's to be respected. I respect what they've done, but I can't say they've totally won me over. But I'm getting more and more intrigued. So thanks to my buddy Eric for waving the flag of GCW. GCW people, you should know that you do have fans out there that are trying to convince other wrestling fans to give you guys a shot, and that's fine. So, hey, they have a right to make business and make money and see what happens. I'm not opposed to them. I just feel like, it's not my style of wrestling per se. But, good luck to them. And hopefully there's some safety. I guess I get, when you ask me about it, Eric and others, about what my feelings about bloodbath wrestling or garbage wrestling or deathmatch wrestling, I guess as just a human being, I have a concern for the talents not having permanent damage to their bodies. But it seems like I have more concern than the actual wrestlers. Like, they are happy with it. Any effing fucking way. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. GCW all day, every day. MK Ultra. Yay. Bye.